Why does the narcissist devalue you so much? Why? Why are they just so mean? Why do they hate you so much? I want you to start thinking every time that you hear a devalue from the narcissist, that is them talking to themselves. Whatever it is, the criticism. They don't want you to do it because they're not doing it. Anybody living up to their bliss doesn't have time to criticize somebody else in the arena, working it out, being in alignment with their bliss and their calling, no matter what, no matter how much they're beaten down. Because people living in their calling don't have time to do that. They only get advice when it's solicited. So a narcissist devalues you because they despise that you possess a quality within you that says, yeah, like for me, I'm quirky, I'm weird, I get it. I know I'm a little off center, I'm different. I understand that. I've known that since day one. I've known that since I could feel my heart beating in my crib, for real. So now, many times throughout my life, I've had this weird narcissistic training where I've tried to bow down to the narcissist and be like, I know I'm weird, I'm not good enough. Let me just do it your way. And they just trample the hell out of you because they're mad, especially if you're a little different, if you're off center, if you're quirky, but you still have a light. They have to devalue you because they're like, who gave you permission? Who gave you permission to not be perfect and still have a bright light? Who gave you permission to be happy even though you're not, aesthetically Kim Kardashian or whatever? Who gave you permission? Don't you know, Leah, that your face is weird? Yeah, what? It doesn't matter. But see, I bought into that for so long, and then you try to appease them, and then you're seeking that validation, and you're done. You're in big trouble when that happens. So every time you hear a narcissist devalue you or somebody else, I want you to just reframe it and start remembering they are talking about themselves. They're talking about themselves. Every time. I mean, I get so many comments on here about people hating my makeup and everything, and it's fine. And you go, well, that was a dude and he doesn't wear makeup. So how could he be saying that he's talking about how he hates how he looks? Because anybody who, and maybe he hates how I look too, but it doesn't matter, because anybody who takes the time out and energy out, if you were writing that book, writing the album, curing cancer, being with children, being so present, helping the world have a paradigm shift, would you have time to get online and criticize how somebody looks? Really? No, that's not a happy person. So the narcissist devalues you because they are devaluing themselves. It might not be spot on. Okay, they're making fun of makeup and they don't wear makeup. They're talking about how they feel about themselves. It's an energy. So if the narcissist is putting you down, that's how they feel about themselves. And they're looking for validation. But you don't have to give it to them. The best exercise to do is to just sit back. I have had so many fun experiences in the last few weeks because I've been breaking the habit of people pleasing so fiercely that now it's become funny. Because a lot of times, because I'm a host and I have put on events and I've hosted comedy shows and just different things in my life, I know how to produce. I'm a producer, right? So much so that a friend of mine one time, we were at a restaurant and I didn't even work there. And she's like, Leah, stop observing the room so much. People are going to think you work here. And then somebody came up and asked for a drink from me. They're like, oh, can I get, because she's like, I told you, because I was taking in and noticing everybody so much. And that can be a tremendous talent. But see, where I would falter every time was I would try to take care of everybody. And so I was in a situation recently where somebody who I know is not a nice person, who's super toxic and super abusive, I was in the room with this person, and instead of trying to people please and overcompensate the way that I used to, like, oh gosh, I can tell this person is really toxic, let me entertain them, let me make it really comfortable for them, I didn't. And I just sat back, and it was like a chess game. And it's so funny because then you just start watching them squirm. They devalue you because they devalue themselves. So a lot of times I know it's painful because the narcissist is somebody you really love. And you're like, yeah, but Leah, I want to make it work. Or you're married to them. So just begin. It's an emergency. To remember that when they're mean to you, that's how they feel about themselves. So instead of just trying to shut down and shut everything off, what I want you to do is start reframing and going, oh, they're talking about themselves. And detach from it being you. We all have things that we can work on. There's a time and a place and a space for that, right? In therapy here, where we're holding space for each other, and you can write a comment, things like that. That's not how a narcissist operates. A narcissist just goes and attacks, defames, manipulates. That's what they're after. So you might say, well, they're just giving me constructive criticism, because that's what they say. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's what you hire a coach for. That's what you hire a therapist for. That's what you get in community for. That's deliberately holding that intention. You don't get that off the cuff from some mean comment, from somebody trying to devalue you. That's not constructive criticism. Believe me, I'm a director. I'm an acting teacher, and ask any of my acting students. I'm tough. I can be tough, but I know how to get the result. And I'm not saying it and doing these things just to manipulate and be mean. I say the truth, and I'm very direct when I'm teaching acting, because the truth is the truth. And then my students see that and they feel it and they know it. And they're hiring me to give them that feedback. So it's not about, narcissists always like to say, oh, you just can't take negative feedback. That's not it at all. Anybody in the entertainment industry has taken a lot of negative, hard feedback. I teach the Meisner technique. I learned from two of the toughest Meisner teachers. I lived in LA. Give me a break, Narcissist. It's not that you can't take negative feedback. It's that you don't know how to give feedback because you haven't processed anything yourself. So while you're always dishing out for the empathic people to take more responsibility, you take none. So for you, chosen one, artist, people are even like, chosen one, that's a scary word, like you're holier than thou. No, you're chosen if you're doing this work. There's no doubt about it. You're chosen to be an artist, a healer. You're chosen to actually connect with people on this planet. You're chosen to live your life mission. That's what it means to be a chosen one, in my opinion. You are allowed to follow your calling. You are allowed to sit back and watch the narcissist play their games, but not get entangled with them. So every single time the narcissist puts you down, know that they are talking about themselves, and then seek constructive criticism from places that you trust. You got this. There are gifts inside of you. Don't let anybody or anything squash that and dim that light in you. Because when you share your gifts and talents with the world, that is the most selfless service you could do for the planet, because that's what creates peace on the planet. That's what's going to abolish narcissism, and we can stop this pandemic of narcissism. So please do continue, like, subscribe, comment, and share, because we push this out into the algorithm. More people see it, and it helps everybody. Thank you.